Hey guys, this is Spencer from Destructoid.com, and I'm hanging out with Adam at Lovely GDC 2013. How are you doing?
Fantastic.
So you have brought the ultimate fighting game of all time forever, DiveKick. How did this happen?
If you say so. Yeah, we just, it was a late night joke. You probably heard the story before. Friends and I were up way too late at the release of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and we were annoyed at the genre's lack of dive kicks that are weak. Dive kicks are always too good in every game for the last 20 years. So I said, you know, what if there's a game called Dive Kick? Characters are diving kick, the buttons are diving kick. There, that's a game, right? And my buddy Steven was like, I could make that. So we started, like, pretty much right away. So writing a design document, we grabbed my fiance to do the art, and we had a prototype out the door in the next 5 months, and people really liked it. It really resonated with people, and here we are, working with Iron Galaxy to make a newer, cooler version.
For those who don't know, DiveKick is a fighting game fundamentally about diving and kicking and all of the permutations of that. Could you maybe explain it a little bit to the folks at home?
Sure. The game is very easy to play. You play it with just 2 buttons and no joystick. So the learning curve is probably lower than any game I've ever played in my entire life. You use these controllers. You can use whatever you want that has 2 buttons, but the yellow button will make you jump into the air, and the blue button will make you kick at a down forward angle. And that's how you move forward, and there's also how you attack. If you want to jump away, you press kick on the ground, and you kick the earth so hard that it rotates away from you, causing the illusion of backwards movement. And that's essentially the core gameplay.
What is the impetus behind making such like a ridiculous and fun game?
I think that the fighting genre is a ridiculous and fun genre that is filled with like ridiculous stereotypes, and it lacks a lot of self-awareness, so it just ends up being kind of like contrived and dumb a lot of the time. So we wanted to like take that another step. If we're gonna make fun of one thing in fighting games, why not make fun of the whole genre in the process? So our characters play up stereotypes way harder than usual, and it's very self-aware.
DiveKick is actually part of a few games that have been coming out recently, which seems to be taking genres that are very complex. Like the ones that come to mind are like Hokra and sports, and DiveKick for fighting games. Do you see this being kind of a trend, or how do you feel about this kind of growth in a new direction?
I think that gaming in general needs more gateway drugs. The genre, like gaming in general, grew up with us. You know, I started playing games when I was 8 years old, and as the games got more complex, I was ready for that because I had already been playing for so long. But it's kind of foolish to ignore the fact that we need to bring in new players, and specific genres, not all of them, but specific genres kept growing with the player and never had any entry-level software coming out. Which is really unfortunate, especially for fighting games, since it's kind of been like my lifelong passion. I love fighting games.
Because you've been like hardcore into fighting games for several years now.
Yeah, I've been competitive in fighting games for about 15 years. I've been playing for about 20 years. It's a really core part of my life, and I absolutely adore the genre, which has allowed me to rip it to shreds in such a way that it is very polarizing to people. Some people really hate the idea, like you can't dumb down my favorite thing, but the bottom line for me is, like, if we want new people to play those great games that we love, we need to have something that's a little easier for people to understand. So you can get into this game and you can control it really quick. 3 or 4 games and you'll be able to easily control your character and have them doing what you want to do. And you can get to the fun part of the fighting game, which is why people stay attached to them for so long, which is the mind game. You and I can like play that virtual game of chess or whatever you want to call it and see who can outsmart the other one in a very, very Twitch type of environment. Very, very fast, one-on-one, no one to blame. No teams. I can't be like, oh, I lost because that guy missed his kill shot or whatever, right? And once you're familiar with those concepts, like, oh, he's controlling space, oh, he's cornered him and he's being patient, it'll give you a deeper appreciation of the genre as a whole. So when you do go watch something like Marvel vs. Capcom or Street Fighter or King of Fighters, you're going to start to see those things. Oh, he's not just doing combos, he's controlling space and taking away his opponent's options, etc., etc.
You kind of mentioned it before, but how has the general reaction been from the fighting game community, a community who's very notoriously picky about things?
Yes. This game should be a total failure in their eyes. Because as a member of the fighting game community, I can confidently say that we reject anything that's different. Different at all, we don't want it. Which is obviously bad for growth, but it's been very polarizing. I'd say half the people in the fighting game community absolutely hate the idea that this exists, and then the other half are very excited about it and really enjoy playing it and like what it represents.
I've been hearing lately that people outside of the fighting game community have been really getting behind that. How has that kind of reaction been going?
It's unexpected. I really didn't expect a huge response from outside of the community, but I think it's really great because I personally know, having spent so much of my life with fighting games, that they, of all genres, have a lot more to offer to like the spectator and to the growth of your personal mind than most genres do. And to get people into that in this way is very awesome to me. To get a lot of people to realize, hey, fighting games are actually about matching minds and about learning psychology and not about combo. I think that's really cool.
So how can I get my hands on a copy of this? When can I get my hands on a copy of this?
Summer. We're coming out in summer. We don't have an exact date yet, but it will be out on PlayStation 3 and Vita on the PlayStation Network, and you'll also be able to get it on PC. We're on Steam Greenlight right now. We do need upvotes to hopefully get on Steam proper, which would be excellent. And we're looking into how to produce these babies, but rest assured that you can play with anything you want. We've been playing at the office on LNR on a control pad. We'll take like a Mad Cat stick and just use 2 of those buttons and ignore the joystick. Works great. I also recommend trying it on like a DDR pad, or if you have a spare pair of Donkey Kong bongos, you can gut the insides, put in a PlayStation pad, and play on those. Feels amazing.
All right, well, thank you so much for talking to me. DiveKick is looking absolutely incredible. One of the best games of the show so far. For everybody at home, go and vote this up on Steam Greenlight. It's one of the best things ever. So yeah, touch it with your likes. We're gonna go get hype.